The Forever Alone Filmmaking Podcast is brought to you by no one, because nobody gives a fuck if you make your films or not. That's why you've got to go out and make them on your own, pimp.
Hello and welcome to episode 31 of the Forever Alone Filmmaking Podcast. This is an extra special episode because we have animation legend, the legendary David Firth, on the show today. If you don't know who David Firth is, then I don't know what's wrong with you, because if you're involved with film and animation or anything, or have any culture at all, you'd know about his epic work. So thanks for being on the show today, David.
Thanks for having me. What should I call you? M. Dot?
Yeah, or Mike, or whatever you want.
Mike and Jimmy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we have a plethora of questions for you, David, because, you know, you're a very mysterious dude out here on the internet, especially for us animator types. So, speaking for myself. So, firstly, do you have, like, a rough idea of how many animations you've made and released?
No.
Because the thing that always trips me out, it's like, I thought I've seen everything, and then it goes like, blah, and then like 20 more vomit out from 2004, 2005, 2006, and they just kind of...
yeah.
So
well, I mean, there's there were 100 on YouTube, but they weren't all animations. Some of my older videos were just videos of us dicking around, so I kind of culled a few of those from the YouTube channel. But when I did that, I did a video that was like a sort of roundup of all little clips of all my animations. There were 114 on there, but I didn't include certain... I only included like 3 episodes of Jerry Jackson and this other series I did called Panathinaikos Bear. So I think maybe 115, 120, 125 maybe.
Wow. Yeah, because
I don't know.
Because I think that's one of the... I mean, you know, maybe you don't think so, but for a lot of people, like, making animation is hard. You know, so they're like, I made like 2, so... Just to see the amount of stuff and the quality, that's what kind of, you know, really trips me out as like an animator guy too. So
what year was your first animation release? Like your first clip online?
Oh, my first one online, probably about 99. But it's really hard to put stuff on the internet back then, because you only got 5 meg of web space on these free providers, and I didn't have any money, so I just I'd put them in the lowest quality, like Windows Media or Real Media. That was even worse. And but they didn't last very long, because the free web hosting site, they'd latch on and they'd be like, hey, these guys are just using us for free hosting, and they're not putting anything on the site, so they always shut us down. So it was I don't know, it was like hosting like when people now have to host like a Beatles album on Mediafire, and it's only there for a few months, and then, you know, the record company latches on and they have to change the link. So it's like that sort of thing.
And we, like, people who follow your work know that you do drawn, you do stop frame, you do, you know, different types of animation. So when you have a new idea, how do you decide whether it's going to be drawn or stop frame or become music or some other form of art or creation? How do you categorize it, if you do?
I don't know. I don't. I just follow. I don't even put any thought into that. I just decide, I guess.
Because you have all the different series. So do your ideas automatically categorize themselves? Like, this is Jerry Jackson, this is Salad Fingers, or does it just like happen? Well,
I specifically start writing for Salad Fingers, but I do write ideas all the time. And maybe I'll write an idea like a leg falling from a tree or something. Say that's not an idea, but then if I write it in my book, then later I might be thinking, oh, that could fit in Salad Fingers, so that might go into Salad Fingers. But as for Jerry Jackson, that's all made up on the spot. There's no pre-planning at all for that. That's I open my mouth and out it comes. So there's no pre-planning for that. And otherwise, I'll make a stop frame. I'll decide to make a stop frame and then probably think of the idea once I'm already making it.
Oh, okay.
As in, I'll start animating a few things, then I'll get thinking, and then I think come up with the idea. So it's usually like that.
And my next question, there was a listener question too. That
was clay. Sorry, just to point out that I was talking about clay animation when I said stop frame, not like not a sort of flash stop frame, which is very different.
Oh, what's that? What's flash stop frame?
Well, as in, if I do the stop frame animation in Flash, where I drew every frame, rather than I guess that's not really stop frame because I'm not stopping a camera.
Oh, so. Okay. And
that was a pointless point.
Before this episode, David, we tried to get ourselves cultured because I do stop motion too. Here in the U.S. we call it stop motion, but I was like, but in the U.K. they call it stop frame, so I have to.
We call it stop motion as well. I mean, we don't really talk about it very often. I don't hear it talked about very often. So whatever it's called, I think that's the one where you have a camera, isn't it? If it's a camera, it's stop frame, and if it's then I guess in Flash you'd call it frame by frame if you were drawing every frame like Disney or something, where they draw every frame, whereas I kind of move things around like South Park, tweens and that.
Yeah, what's if you have like a philosophy behind that, because like animators can be really snobby and like you need to draw every frame, or in 3D it's like that's kind of animation I do, and people are like, you need to do it this certain way, and they have like a super sophisticated way, or they're really snobby. Do you have are you just trying to tell your stories, or do you get snobby about the animation, or what's like your approach when you start animating?
Well, going back to South Park, I love South Park, and they can make something funnier by making it look bad. Yeah. So sometimes I think, as in Jerry Jackson, I like the fact that it looks bad because I think that adds to the humour. But sometimes there'll be a complicated transaction between two characters. Maybe they'll be exchanging an object or something, and then that really needs to be frame by frame animation. Otherwise, it's just going to look clunky. So I don't know. Every movement is its own kind of decision on that one. Sometimes I think you can cut corners if it means getting something done quicker, but as long as it doesn't sacrifice anything. As long as it doesn't look lazy, I guess.
Yeah, I guess because I'm sure a lot of people who do animation would like to learn your secret since you've made the most stuff. And I think what hangs me up, or maybe some other people, is that we get too caught up into the technicalities, like the technique, instead of just looking at the whole, like the big picture, and like I'm making an animation, I'm telling a story, or trying to do this thing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there are any secrets really, apart from on the actual. If I'd done something experimental, like I did one called Crooked Rot, and cool. I don't want to tell people how I did that because I think it's quite basic. A lot of the techniques I used in that, and they weren't After Effects or anything. But I think if I told people how to do it, then they might copy it and do it better, and then Crooked Rot would look a lot sort of weaker in comparison. So that's the only one that's the secrets for. I mean, for Flash, I'd like to learn secrets from other people, so I just, learn myself and try and work things out for myself. I don't think there are any secrets, though.
Speaking of that, since you've made so many different things, have you seen any, really funny, copies or of your work out there in different ways?
Well, a lot of people try and do the Jerry Jackson thing and, make it look really bad and have the sort of bad voices, but I don't know if they're trying to make it look bad or it just looks bad on just because it is bad. But I don't know. At the time of the first Salad Fingers, there were quite a few sort of creepy-ish animations cropped up, but I don't know if they were inspired by me or not, because they could have just been inspired by, Tim Burton or Johnny the Homicidal Maniac or something like that. So
yeah, I just figured you'd probably see some pistachio fingers out there or something. Or
there were parodies, but they were always parodies. They were not
okay.
They weren't like rip-offs. I think Singapore Energy Company used a very similar animation to Salad Fingers to sell one of their energy plans, which I found a few years ago. Yeah, I downloaded it as well.
What did he have on his fingers?
I can't remember. I think it was just. I don't know if it was Salad Fingers, the actual character, or just the music and the atmosphere of it. I really can't remember.
That seems like such a strange way to advertise an electric company.
Yeah, it was a very strange advert. People say that they've seen something that rips me off, but I never seem to agree.
So I know on the internet, a lot of people are worried about my intellectual property and people stealing my ideas. I'm one of those people too. I try to keep my stuff secret. But since you put so much stuff out, how wary are you of that when you're making things? Are you I don't want to reveal my ideas before they're finished online, or what's your approach to kind of your intellectual property and your secrets in your work?
Well, I don't tend to show anything until it's done. That's just my own personal problem. And if I did, then maybe I'd have a better fan base because they'd be paying attention to me on Twitter and things. But
well, you got a pretty massive fan base.
I mean, yeah, but they tend to forget about me until it comes out. Whereas a lot of people, they keep everyone updated on the progress, and I wish I could do that, but I just can't. I find that I'm not satisfied with it until it's done, so I can't show anything until it's done.
Yeah,
maybe a screenshot.
I think in the end that creates better work, And
oh yeah, but who knows?
Well, if you listen to our past episodes, me and Jimmy are just like, oh man, how do we get people to watch our stuff? Like no one knows about it. So,
you just have to spam it on forums. That's what I used to do before I went on Newgrounds. I just spammed it on loads of forums. I spent ages just spamming my work everywhere.
Really, as yourself or as like another person or something?
Oh, I would make up. Sometimes I got sucked into one forum because I thought they're going to latch on if I just spam my work. So what I'll do is I'll start being a person on the forum first, and then I'll send my work. But then I started getting into it and making friends on there and talking. And when it came to it, I didn't really want to show my work because I thought they might stop liking me. So that was a long time ago, though. That was before other people would do my promotion for me, like blogs and things. But I never put any money into promotion. I just sort of spammed it around before. But I don't know. What was your question? It was about intellectual property or something.
Yeah, just about I think you answered it. Just about not showing stuff before it's finished till it's full and done.
But apart from intellectual property, the only thing if something's not out there, if I've not put something out there, then I fully expect someone else. If I've taken something off the internet, I fully expect someone else to put it on the internet because if it's if people are out there, they're going to want to see it. So the whole availability thing, I don't agree with making something unavailable. But if I've got a Salad Fingers on YouTube, then someone else uploads it to YouTube. That's just pointless because it's probably going to be worse quality and it's going to take away any potential subscribers from me. So that's the only thing I get annoyed about is when people upload my own work to the same site that it's on under their name. But apart from that, copyright, I'm not fully into copyright.
Yeah, I don't think you could and create so much stuff because I think the people that do worry about it too much and then it limits them and they don't put it out or do it or something.
Well, everything shows up in eBaum's world, and only once have I asked something to be taken down, and that was the video dating tape because it was I was taking it off the internet just because I had a problem with someone was claiming that copyright as theirs. So I wanted people to pay attention, so I took it off the internet entirely so people would actually pay attention to me, and it got sorted eventually.
That's awesome animation, too.
Oh, cheers.
I think that was one of the first things I saw from you.
Oh, right, yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah. So, this is there was a listener question related to this, but where do your ideas come from?
From thin air. They just come from thin air.
From the ether.
Whatever's in the air, thin air, fat air, thick air, over the mountain. Sometimes they come from the drain. They just come from everywhere. But the air used to be a lot thinner. Maybe it's thicker now.
And there's a listener question related to that. They said, are the sock animations really from dreams he had?
Yeah, but not that I didn't dream them as that. One day I might wake up and there's one sock episode where he wakes up and there's a phrase in his head and he doesn't know how it got there, and that phrase didn't come from my dream. A different one was in my dream, but I couldn't remember one, so I just made up one. The dream, basically, my dreams often are in woods, so there's often confusion in a wood, people running through woods, fear in the woods, some kind of ogre. Some killer, some kind of threat. But a lot of the time it's just trying to replicate the feeling of a dream and the way a dream will switch from one place to another without really explaining, but still holding small elements of the previous scene without having any real continuity.
Yeah.
Do you live in a woodsy area?
Yeah, I went walking in the woods today. Actually, it was the first nice day for a long time. I like the woods.
I live in the woods too, but I live in the mountains, so it's snowing horribly outside right now.
Snow's great. I love snow as well.
I hate it.
Well, we only get it once or twice a year, so it's really good.
Hey,
oh, really? It doesn't snow a lot there?
No, once or twice a year, if that. And it doesn't usually settle. It usually just sort of snows and then melts. So
You're a lucky man.
no, I'm not. I like snow.
Hey, David, Jimmy has a one-legged deer in his woods.
I do.
Yeah.
I used to feed him, but I don't know where he went. I have a whole flock of deer that live in the woods, and when they see me now, they come running up because they know I feed them.
Oh wow! I live in a shallow, sort of narrow wood. I don't think there's any There's only foxes in there. No real wildlife.
So let's how about walk us through, like, before we came on, you said you were working on something today. So you get this idea out of the thin, fat, whatever kind of air happens to be that day. I'm going to make an animation. What's the process like? Do you record the voices first? Do you draw sketches? Can you walk us through, like, a making of one brief, roughly?
The one I'm doing today, the one I have been doing today and yesterday and for the last month or 3 months or, I don't know, year or something, is like, is a series. I wrote 6 half-hour episodes of this series, and I've been writing them for a long time now, since 2011. Mm-hmm. And then the half-hour episodes were split up into 11-minute chunks, and there are now 4 11-minute chunks per half-hour episode, so 6 times 4, that's a number, and there are a lot of episodes to do, and I'm just doing the first one, and it's 11 minutes long, and I've just storyboarded the whole thing. But usually the first thing I do is, actually it's different every time. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I come up with an idea and I start animating something straight away. Sometimes I write a whole thing, storyboard it, record all the voices before I do anything visual. It's different every time. Sometimes I'll start doing a cartoon and have no idea where it's going, and then make up a story later. And I did that for one of the sock episodes.
So you like mix it, or it's just however it happens. It's just fun. It's just fun to throw it at different things at it.
Yeah, because otherwise I'd just get stuck at stages. Like, I do write a lot of stuff that never gets made, so that's a stage I always get stuck at, writing. So sometimes I just like to start animating and see where it's going to go.
Huh. So what's your favorite part of animation or making animations? What's your favorite part of it?
Writing it, probably writing it. But it doesn't mean, it's because I can do writing everywhere, whereas most of it requires me to be in my room, so I can go out and write something and get inspired. So I certainly enjoy writing them, but they often just end at the writing stage, because rather than animating it, I start writing something different.
What's your least favorite part of making animations?
Lip sync.
Yeah, I feel that one.
Yeah, especially if you don't want to be lazy. If you want to get it really looking just how you want it. There's no way of cutting corners on that.
No, not even in 3D. Like, I feared lip sync forever. My last movie, I had all the characters wear masks. Not because I'm afraid of lip sync, though.
I'd come up with different ideas. You could always obscure the mouth. They could always be drinking from a cup. But sometimes, although the thing is with lip sync, there's no thought. Often another part for me that I don't like is having to draw something without knowing what it looks like, because then I've got to just make it up, and that bit can be, if it's happening, it's happening. But if not, then I'll just sit there and stare and think, what does this look like? Whereas at least with lip sync, you know what you've got to do. You can just get on with it, put some sort of very quiet music on so you can concentrate and just sit for hours and get it done. Whereas other parts of animation, it just seems too difficult to even start sometimes.
Yeah. Can you give us some tricks as to what you do if you don't want to do lip sync, like drinking from a glass or like wearing a mustache or something? Or
no, I don't cheat, but sometimes I have a character that has. So in the Sock episode 2, there is actually no lip sync in that. The mouth movements are all experimental, where one of them, it looks like a sort of grid, sort of grill sort of thing comes out of his mouth.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah. Or a
circle spinning around. That was because I didn't want to lip sync. And if sort of character's in the distance and you can't really see the mouth, I just make one loop that goes constantly, so it just looks like the head's moving. Characters animated from behind, so you can just move the head around, different angles, cutaways. I try not to use tricks though. I like to make sure that it's all synced up.
When do you do the lip sync? Before or after the character's body animation?
Oh, last of all, lip sync. I think on Salad Fingers it's last. It's second to last. The last is the squiggly writing, but the last second to last is the lip sync.
Oh, okay. How do you know when an animation is done? Like, when do you walk away from it and be like, it's finished? Like an entire short or an entire...
It usually looks finished for about 3 days before I decide it is finished. And then I just watch it. And after I think I've watched it 3 or 4 times with a notebook, writing every little note down that needs changing. And they're usually the smallest things that no one would notice. But usually after I've done that a few times and I can't come up with any more new notes for improvements, then it's done.
So you're like a movie studio does, right? So you have like a test screening, but with yourself, and you like make notes and you hand them to the executive, who's you, and you argue with yourself, and you're like, okay, we'll do it. Fuck you.
Yeah. Sometimes it's weird because I don't know. I should just, if I was patient enough, I could just put the animation away when it had been finished for 3 weeks, and then come back to it and look at it and make sure it still looked good. But I usually, within 10 minutes of finishing something, I will be uploading it somewhere because I just want to get it done with.
Yeah. And speaking of like that feedback thing, how are you working with people or for people, with groups or clients or funders or whatever? Do you like that? Do you not like it? What kind of experience has that been for you?
I don't like music videos. I've decided to never do those again because they take too much time and they never seem to look very good when I've done them. Animated music videos, because my stuff's usually quite dialogue based, and without the dialogue, it's someone else's song or something. And also, music videos need to cut quite a lot, so that's just too much animation. So I never do those anymore. I learned from that, and as in working with a group, I'm a control freak, so I can't work with people very well.
Yeah.
You've come to the right place.
But I do, this thing I'm working on now, the 6 episodes of 4 times 6 times 4 or whatever, is I have a producer who I've shown scripts to, and then we've discussed the scripts, and he's said, "How about this and this?" And it worked out well actually, because he sort of didn't actually tell me what to do. He just suggested things that might improve it, as in bring in more of this character, or his story needs to be tied up at some point, or maybe we can have more interaction between these two. So rather than writing anything himself, he just made suggestions, which has worked really well, I think, because I definitely think the script is better for it. And but for animators, I've never worked with animators. I'm about to. I've got 4 of them ready to show these storyboards to. So I'll find out what happens then.
Shit, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Just do it like this. Just hold it. Have you ever tried to? So you've never tried to have someone animate for you or with you or at all? I'm
trying to think now. I don't think so.
Because I was trying to have my girlfriend was animating some stuff for me with me, and I felt like I was behind her, and I was like trying to move the mouse and like, no, up here, move the curve.
Yeah.
So.
And it's not going to save. I mean, even lip sync, I think I'd like to employ a lip sync artist to do the lip sync bit, but then I just think, I'd rather do it myself because I want it to look like I want it to look. So I do write things with my friend Christian. He came up with Salad Fingers with me, and we came up with that together. And when we have a writing session, I just throw scenarios at him, and he kind of comes up with suggestions or bits of dialogue, and I try and write it down.
Really? So you'll just throw any situation, and then you guys just it's a ball, and you roll it around, and
yeah, definitely. We just try and we just together come up with all this dialogue and different ideas that might fit, might not, and then I have this big list of things that I can go and write up into an episode. That's how South Park write, actually. A bunch of people throw around ideas and then Trey Parker writes it up. But that's not why I do it. It's just because I like suggestions, but I don't think I could ever have anyone write a scene for me. I'd have to write it myself. but based on their suggestions.
What was the first South Park did you see? Was it Santa versus Jesus? The one that was the first?
No, the first one I saw was the first one shown in the UK, which was the one where aliens were abducting Cartman and probing him.
Oh, really? Did they have?
That's the first episode.
That's the first episode. They never showed the pilot, unaired pilot. I don't think it was aired in England.
Really, though, because here in the States, they had this thing called Spike and Mike Sick and Twisted. You probably heard of it, Festival of Animation.
Yeah.
And it would tour around cinemas, and that's where I saw it. I guess it was the pilot where Jesus fought Santa Claus.
Yeah, they also, though, I didn't have the internet at that point. That was 98, I think, in England. The South Park came out, and I didn't have the internet for a while. But when I got the internet, I found it was actually really hard to find it as well because 1998 internet was not the best for downloading videos, and that was quite I was really impressed when I saw the first. I was searching for it for so long. Jesus versus Santa. But I saw the other one as well. They did another one that was Frosty versus Jesus, which was really, really dirty and basic, and the characters all called different things. They don't even look like South Park characters.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, Jesus
that was
versus
the first one.
Frosty, 92 I think that was.
So, since you liked its crude start or the way it looks, does it seem weird to you that now that they use Maya, like the 3D program Maya, to make South Park?
Well, according to the going down to South Park, the documentary, they started having it done on a computer like 3 episodes in. After the first one, they animated themselves, or the first 2, and then after that, they got a computer team to replicate their style, but. I think, Maya was more recent, wasn't it? They switched to Maya, but
yeah,
still.
I just thought it was weird that they're using Maya to make South Park. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it is. They put all those little 3D bits in. Sometimes I think South Park looks too good because, new characters that come in look really good, and the old ones still look the same. But yeah, if they can turn it around in 1 week, then that's impressive.
Yeah. Is there any tools or animation tools or technology or something that you're looking forward to in the future? Like, if only this existed, it would make what I do easier.
No.
No.
No. I'm only just understanding After Effects, and I'm just think, where has it been all my life? Because it makes so many elements that I was trying to do in Flash just seem ridiculously easy and look so much better. So the only problem is that with that is that I can't really host them as Flash files anymore, which was good because they were very small and very good quality, SWFs. But then again, Apple products don't even run them anymore, so I might as well just stick to YouTube and save my bandwidth.
So After Effects is where it's at right now.
Yeah, After Effects. But Flash is still for the animation, but After Effects for putting it all together. Just add that extra layer of sort of atmosphere and realism.
So in my head, I'm thinking like David Firth probably uses like Flash 4.1. He's still. Do you use a newer version or older version or?
I don't even know which version it is. It's just Flash.
MX.
Could be. It's one of them. I think I've got a few installed.
Or you could be a Macromedia stalwart and be like, I'll never switch to the Adobe version.
I did prefer the Macromedia version.
Really? Yeah, I think it was nicer.
Anymore. I think it's because they only ever improved the code side of it, and I never did the code, so they didn't seem to add anything to the animation. Also, it still has the same glitches in that it had in 2005. Sometimes when you're drawing a circle or something, it automatically fills it, or fills part of your character in. This is with the paint tool. And this glitch has been going forever.
Because
I don't know why they haven't sorted
it. It knows what you need, David.
I don't want to fill it.
Yes, you do, David.
Although they did fix a glitch, though. Sometimes when you're drawing something, the whole drawing would disappear. And then if you pressed undo, the whole thing would crash. That one got me a few times.
That's art, man. It's trying to help you.
Yeah.
It's funny hearing your voice, because, we watched all your animations. I hear your voice. Is it your voice in all of them? In every character?
Not every character.
Because I can't tell. I'm like, is that him? It must be him. I don't know. So as a fan, I can't tell. I think it's all you.
In Salad Fingers 5, there was a different character as a girl. And I tried to do her voice, and it sounded too much like Salad Fingers. So I got Christian to do it. And he does a lot of voices. I often get him in to do different parts, but usually because I'm such a control freak and I need to know, and I know exactly how I want everything to be delivered, I generally do it mostly myself. But video dating tape, that wasn't me. The guy, that was my friend.
Yeah, I think that's one of the funnest part too, is like doing the voices. And like, do you look at your animated characters? Are they real? Are they there waiting for you when you're not working on them? Does it feel that way, or are they?
It's weird. When I'm doing it, they're just dead pieces of whatever, pixels. But then when I put the voice in, then they become something. So it's weird, because then you look at it later and you think, oh, that is actually a character now. When before I was just looking at it as a bunch of shapes that were all linked together. So it's the character doesn't appear until it has a voice, really.
Yeah, so when they're like, because you have all the different series and stuff you do. So do they pull you? Do you like, oh, I need to do a new burnt face man? Because
is that what you meant?
Yeah, like do you miss them, or do you feel like you're neglecting them and you need to? Yeah,
I do, but I'm tying a lot of stuff together at the moment because I've got a lot of characters and there's a lot of different series. And this new thing I'm doing, these 11-minute shows, I've tied in Spoilsbury Toast Boy and Burnt Face Man into the world.
Really?
Yeah, so Burnt Face Man is the town's superhero. So it's not... Instead of... Because I found it hard to just dedicate a whole episode to Burnt Face Man. Even though I do that, it still feels like it's one character. It's just too heavy on one character, where it'd be nice to have all the characters. So he's going to be in the new one, but he's just... he is the superhero. And Spoilsbury Toast Boy is in the same world, but he's in the normal world. He's a missing child. So,
oh, that's gonna be awesome! I love Burnt Face Man. I've watched him so many fucking times. It's so funny.
Yeah,
do you have any plans for more Toast Boy episodes?
Yeah, he's in this though. This is basically that's what I based it around. Is the world above Spoilsbury Toast Boy?
Because you were supposed to be doing like a whole series backwards, right?
Yeah, I did. I wrote the third one, and I looked at it, and then I liked it, so I started it. Then I looked at it again, I thought, I don't like it, so I stopped it. And then I started writing this, and started writing Spoilsbury Toast Boy into it. And now, he's going to be... So every episode should have something with him in. Although the first one, he's just referenced as a missing child. But anyone that knows my work will know what's coming, because they'll know where he's actually gone. But there's all kind of... a lot of conspiracies around the town of the episode that I'm doing, that he's been murdered or he's been abducted or he's just run off. So no one even seems to consider the idea that he's been, he's in a beetle world.
How do you even, I don't see how you can complete Burnt Face Man, because I'd be laughing so much while I was doing it. Shit, just like the dialogue and everything. Are you when you're doing it, or just like, is it just like a...
Not when I'm doing my own voices. It's usually gone past the joke. I usually, if I write something, I'll leave it, and then I go back, and if I find it funny when I go back, then it's worth using. But never when I'm... Sometimes, if I'm making it up as I go along, Jerry Jackson, then I might take myself by surprise and laugh. And also when I do the podcast, me and Christian do a podcast where we make it all up as we go along, but we have a structure. Sorry, I burped. A basic structure there. And then... a lot of the time, we just can't do it because we're laughing so much. So, that's the only thing, really.
Huh. Speaking of funny stuff, we have another listener question. Christian from out there in the UK says, I think his Not Stanley series is the funniest thing on earth. Ask him if he plans to do any more.
I was going to mention that just then. That was another cartoon that I did ad-lib. And one day I was just watching... some serial killer films about John Wayne Gacy. He's a crazy guy.
Yeah, Mr.
Yeah. He Lampshade.
Didn't he make the female genital lampshades and all that stuff?
I don't think so. That might have been Ed Gein.
Oh yeah, Gacy's a clown. That's right. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, but he was never a clown when he murdered people. I don't know. They just add that to make him seem scarier. He used to be a clown at kids' parties, but that was. I don't see. That's the point. Is that he was talking on camera. And he was sort of saying, I didn't, if you look under my house, you'll see that I didn't do it. And I just started doing this John Wayne Gacy voice. It sounded nothing like him. And then I just started recording it, and I didn't think I was going to do anything with it, but I was talking for ages.
So and that's you?
Yeah, that's me.
I thought you got some guy from New Jersey or something to do. And I was like, what is this recording from?
Yeah, but then I made it sound really... because I was speaking into this mic that wasn't supposed to be... because I just picked the microphone up and I hadn't set up my equipment, and I was speaking into a mic that wasn't meant for voice recording. It was distorting all over the place, and I eventually just put a lot of filters on it, like to make it sound like it was a really old recording. But the problem is I can't remember exactly what filters I put on it, and I can't replicate it. So I don't think I'll be doing any more of those. And another thing, that wasn't me. It was me. I was possessed for like an hour and a half with this spirit of John Wayne Gacy or something, and I can never find it again. So I don't know what was going on with me that morning. I think it was I had some strong coffee or something, but I don't know if I can find that. If I can find it again, I'll try. But I don't think he's still there.
Yeah, he had that sweet crab walk too.
Yeah, that was just because I had a photo and I didn't know. I just thought he's going to look awful if I make this walk try and look proper. So I just did a stupid walk cycle.
Do you still have the original audio files from that? Because I do a voice of a dog that I always forget how to do, so I just listen to the original files again without all the filters on them, and then I go from there.
Not without the filters. I was just putting the filters on the actual wave itself. And also I slowed it down because my voice is higher than that. Mm-hmm. And I found the actual filter preset, it was on my old computer. In Audition, I'd a mastering rack of all these different filters, but the presets that I'd made had gone missing from somewhere. So there were about 5 different effects with different presets on. So I really don't know I couldn't get anything close to it when I tried.
Because I know we've gone over the 30 minutes we've allotted for this interview, because we know you're busy, Mr. Firth.
Well, have you got any more questions? Because
yeah, we had a couple more from listeners.
Well, let's do them really quick.
Okay.
You don't have to be. You can take as long as you want.
Okay. Will Devo be coming out with another album?
I don't know. That's not me, Devo. That's someone else.
I think there's a lot of confusion about that, right, on the internet?
Well, we'll keep that confusion up. Although I did do a video interview recently, and people can confirm that it's not me; it's a different person. But I did make the music, not the actual. I made the instrumental tracks. So I don't know. Maybe it depends. Not sure.
Okay. The other one. What was the worst? What was the worst day you ever had?
Day?
Yeah, that's a question someone asked.
The worst day I ever had? I really don't want to talk about the worst day I ever had. I think it's
I know, we don't want anybody breaking out in tears on the show or whatever, It's like...
No.
That's an awkward question.
Well, an awkward question. I'm trying to think of something that's not that bad, that's not going to make anyone go,
How about, out of all the animations you made, what's your favorite? If you can only show one, like if you were going to die and they're like, this is my animation, which one would it be?
Oh, no. I think if I was going to die and they were going to show one,
yeah,
then I don't know, because I'd probably want to choose something that looked impressive.
Yeah.
Rather than, but the actual, I do like the Salisbury Toast Boy -1. That's the one where his granny's head falls in the fire. Just because I like the idea of him finding his gran with a head in the fire. So.
Okay, what if you had 2? Okay, that one, and what else?
It's probably Sock 5. It's because it's recent and it's a new style. But also one of the later Salad Fingers, maybe number 6 actually. That was my favourite Salad Fingers.
Okay, sweet. We'll put that on the essential David Firth list for people to check out.
All right, essential. Well, no, that's the least viewed Salad Fingers on YouTube, though. People don't like that one as much because it makes less sense. But it was, for me, it seems it's closest to what I wanted the series to be.
That brings up a question. Sense. What do you think about sense? Because I'm sure you get a lot of people, I've read comments on your stuff where people are talking about what is sense and what is a narrative and what is a story. What are your thoughts and comments on what makes sense in animation and whether it has to make sense or not?
Well, I don't believe in showing the whole story because that leaves nothing to the imagination. So if something has, you can connect something in your head, then it's a story. You know, if you see a man walking and then, you know, later you see him in a hospital, you'll think he got into an accident or something, or he was stabbed or something. But if, you know, but if the two things are completely disconnected from each other, then it creates a confusion, and sometimes people get angry by that. And I find that often in the sock cartoons, people get angry by the fact that they don't make enough sense because the gaps that I leave are too big so that anything could have happened in between. That leaves too much to the imagination. It makes you kind of think too much, and if you can't connect the two, then you just sort of think, oh, well, this is nonsense. But the point is that it's based on dreams, so dreams don't often make sense.
And
so
it requires imagination to watch it. Like, you leave gaps for us to fill in, right?
Yeah, it's not that so much. I just think I concentrate on the bits that interest me, and I've no interest in telling the story about how someone got to this point in their life, or, you know, that's you can work that out. It's just I just concentrate on the bits I find interesting, and if it doesn't make sense, then maybe it's not meant to, or maybe that I've just hinted at something too subtly.
Yeah, because I think that's one of the funnest things is to go. I mean, because you actually comment, you know, on your videos and talk to people and stuff. So I find that an interesting time, you know, as an animator or a fan of animation, because now you can go, and if there's people whose work you admire, you can read, you know, what they think about it and see how they interact with people. Like, do you like the Brothers Quay, the stop motion animators?
Yeah. The really good stop motion.
Yeah, because, you know, they're like these mysterious guys, and there's like nothing about them anywhere on the internet, and they got their stuff taken off, so you make this stuff up. So, which is cool too, but it's kind of neat to see, kind of get into the creator's head too. So I find like reading your comments to people and just kind of trying to figure out what your approach is to your work and stuff. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't make a point of answering comments, but sometimes someone will say something, and often the comments, people will take that as the truth. And if someone says something, this is how this happened, I'd rather, you know, tell the real story of what happened or how it happened or why it happened. But usually I probably would prefer not to be on Twitter and on Facebook and on the comments and stuff like that. But I feel that I kind of need to at this point, whereas some people have got such acclaim that they can just disappear and everyone will still be waiting for them when they come back. But I feel that I need to hold on to my fan base. So, you know, maybe if I was a bit more successful, I could disappear and be all mysterious, like, I don't know, Stanley Kubrick or something, but I'm nowhere near that.
Well, hey, man, we're waiting for you.
I know, but I still go on Twitter every day and say, oh, this is coming, or do this, or... it's not. I'm not specifically doing it to keep the audience interested, but I still don't feel I can leave them for long enough without them just disappearing.
This generation with their attention spans and all that.
Yeah.
Tweeting and Facebooking.
Yeah, but I've, at this point, I do need to still promote, because I don't actually have any sort of paid promotion like a lot of creators and artists and studios do, so it has to be all done by me, really.
Yeah, and I think the audience appreciates that because, you know, people know when stuff's fake anyway. So it's like, I saw a thing actually in the UK where these people at this film event where they created this person who was supposed to be on YouTube as this independent filmmaker who was making this movie, but it was a whole like PR scam, and it wasn't even a real guy, and it was like this studio that created this personality and this whole persona, and people saw through it. And it's kind of like, I think being real is a strength, you know, so it's like the real guy, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah, but some people like can have a Twitter account and have only 4 tweets and still have 1 million subscribers, and those people are good. Those people are lucky. They've got it made because they don't need to waste the time sort of saying, go here and watch this. If it gets released, people will find it.
So what thing needs to be invented so that you don't have to do that, but then people know where to watch it or whatever? What is that thing?
Oh, no, that would just mean inventing another social place, and it'd get overcrowded with bullshit. So I think a time freezing device where I can freeze the rest of the world while I do my work, and then put one thing out every day, and then and people will be like, "Why is this guy getting old so quickly when we're staying the same age?" And I'll be, that's my secret. But for now,
if time freezes, you wouldn't age.
Yeah, but I'd still be going, so I'd still be aging, but the rest of time would freeze. But then that'd be shit because I'd be going on the internet and nothing would have updated. So I'd have to unfreeze it and say, come out with a new episode of Breaking Bad because I'm bored, or something like that. Because if time froze, then there'd never be that series would never continue, and I need to know what happens.
How far have you watched it?
All of it that's out.
Man, when they killed the dude at the end of the first season, I lost interest. I love that guy. He was awesome.
Which
the guy who owned the chicken place.
Oh, that's like the end of the third season or the fourth.
That's the end of the fourth series.
Yeah. I guess I was sick.
You watched a lot of it, bro.
Yeah, I was sick, so I just kept watching it. So yeah, I like that guy.
But then again, there's it seemed like the end.
And then they had like a magnet in the next episode, and I was like,
Yeah,
I was sick.
Yeah. So you're pretty caught up. You're only like 6 episodes behind or something.
And seriously, you watch series 5 because it gets really good again.
Really?
And it keeps you hanging. You think, what's going to happen now?
And it's about to end forever.
Yeah, I really like Gustavo Fring. I thought because he was in this movie called Fresh. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one about this chess player gangster kid in the 90s. He was like this. He was in that too. I've always liked him. I shouldn't say that though because he was naked in that movie.
Yeah, you've also just spoiled Breaking Bad for anyone who's not got that far yet.
We don't even care.
You just spoiled the whole first season, bro.
Yeah.
But thanks for coming on the podcast, David.
Yeah, no worries.
I'm sure there's going to be tons of people that are stoked because you've divulged some secrets, I'm sure, that haven't come out on the internet yet about your work and stuff like that. So,
well, you sound like you're professionals. Usually, when I do a podcast, people are, it's usually someone that's quite. Usually, I just find that anyone can make a podcast, and it might just be some student kid in his bedroom making a podcast, and he's. It's usually quite an awkward interview, so this has been pro.
Cool. Well, it's not like we're not in bedrooms, but we're fellow control freak animators, so, we got our shit together.
I'm in a bedroom.
Yeah, we got it real together.
Yeah, I'm in a bedroom right now in front of my computer with walk cycles looping.
Well, that's good.
But Jimmy was in a basement, so...
I was, but
he's moving up.
Too crazy down there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean... anytime if we'd love to have you back on the podcast, or there's some time when you some project you want to talk about or something, and
I should I never plan to do interviews. I usually just wait until I'm asked, and that goes for a lot of things in life. I usually just wait until I'm approached rather than approaching. So maybe when I've done something that I'm happy with, we'll actually try and get interviews places, but until then, if you ask me for an interview, I'll probably do one.
Cool. So. I'll be sure to bother you again.
Yeah.
Sweet. Well, thanks for being on the Forever Alone Filmmaking Podcast, David.
Yeah, cool. Tell me when it comes out.
Yeah, we'll do it right away since we're...
It's not live, is it? It's not live.
No.
It'll probably be today or tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'll put it up tonight and we'll send you a link. And I'll make it a YouTube video and stuff too, so, just the audio, whatever, so you can share it.
Yeah, so we can fill the YouTube with interviews of me.
Yes, and looking forward to see the Spoilsbury Toast Boy burnt face man thing.
Yeah, and people can compare the interviews and find out where I've contradicted myself, because people like to do that. People are attentive.
Really?
No one's ever done that, but I mean,
Didn't
sure.
Aphex Twin used to purposely give different information for each interview to fuck with people?
Yeah, once again, if I had the status that he has, I could do that, but I do need to promote.
Yeah, well, that's the tough thing, because if you go to our past episodes, that's what me and Jimmy are always like, what are we doing, man? How do we get people to see our stuff? What are we going to do? How are we going to make money? Yeah. My rent's 19 days late, so...
Whoa!
Just what you need to do is you just need to insult someone who's a similar but more popular than you version of you. So like another film, just start slagging off all the filmmaking podcasts, and then you'll get hits then, because people will be like, oh, what are these guys doing? Slagging me off? I'm going to find out what they're all about.
Okay, we'll get some targets cited.
Yeah.
That's what we need. We need some enemies.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like Burnt Face Man is, because he has fucking Spider-Man and like the Spider Dude and like all the other guys that are his enemies. So yeah.
Yeah, you need enemies.
Man Spider and yeah. Well, it was really inspiring and awesome to talk to you, David. So thanks for coming on our podcast.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
All right, good talking to you, Dave. Yeah.
Bye.
See ya.
Cheers.
Bye.
Goddamn printer.
Jimmy, it's the show again.
Oh.
So yeah, it was awesome to have David Firth on the podcast. So hopefully we can get him back in the future.
Oh yes,
because
yes,
we're both big fans of his work, and yeah, it was interesting because it's stuff you always wonder, how other people get stuff done, and I mean, he's fucking over 100 and something animations, so
yeah, it's crazy.
If you want to get shit done, I definitely take notes from the way he works because he gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
And it's dope stuff, so yeah. So I'm still I'm working on I Am Nightmare. I'm doing walk cycles right now and just got the first stuff from the voice actor, so I'll start working on that pretty soon. What are you doing, Jimmy?
I have 3 servers running right now because the shots I'm rendering are too big and I have to render them on one computer at a time. So I have 2 computers rendering stuff for the trailer for my feature and another computer rendering stuff for that music video.
What do you mean they're too big? Like file size, or they're the CPU's like too hard on the processor?
Yeah, because like I've said it in the past, but for some reason with these bigger scene files, like it'll render fine, but then it'll get down to the last 2 frames or so, and they'll just fight over them for 3 days, and nothing will actually get out. So my way around that is just to set up separate servers on each computer, so that one computer is rendering one shot at a time.
So you have 3 different render servers?
So I got 3 different render servers running in this room right now, chugging frames out.
Sounds
That's
like
how I
fun.
get down, son.
Yeah, see, I guess that's the thing. Like, like when I asked David Firth about what tools or technologies, he's like, none. Because, I mean, when you're doing Drawn or Flash, you can keep it pretty simple, right? You have, like, I'm going to assume, like, a stylus, right? Like a Wacom or something you're drawing on, and, like, your Flash program or your drawing program, and, like, that's pretty much it. But, but the way we do it, it's like we have all this complicated shit and render clients and...
Yeah, need more computers. Like, Flash you could do on any computer pretty much ever made with basically the same results.
Yeah, I wish we could do that.
We got to upgrade computers every couple of years, and
well, it's like we have all this baggage too. It's like I got my workstation and my monitors and my keyboard, and my hard drives and my render slaves. So it's
and
like,
the electric bill, and
yeah. If only I could draw.
Aw, I can't draw either.
Yeah, but I think it's kind of the 3D comes more so out of like photography, or if you're into stop motion or stop frame stuff, you get to play with lights in that way, and it's kind of. You get things for free. We get free shadows. We get free lighting interactions. We get to reuse motion. So it's a whole different thing.
It's kind of closer to live action than Flash is because you're still using camera systems, and you cheat the camera the same way you cheat it in regular live action stuff.
Yeah, but it's what we do, and we love it.
Yeah.
Wait, right, Jimmy? We love it. We love it. We fucking love it.
I love it when it's finished, but the process to get there, I want to fucking kick babies and throw things and do horrible things to the universe.
Me and Jimmy realized we have one of the same fears, and that I just got like the first batch of voices from the voice actors like last night, but I'm too terrified to listen to them. Mm-hmm. And you said you kind of have the same thing. So, like, we're afraid, like, it means a lot. Like, it means a lot to me. Like, oh, fuck, these are the main characters. But then I'm afraid, like, oh, there's going to be a technical problem or something. And so then I'm just not listening to
Or it's going to be like, oh, I didn't like the way he said it. And then you got to go back and find them again and be like, can you record this one line from page 55? And
so does that have to do with being, like, antisocial? Because we're like, oh, we have to ask people to do more stuff, even though I'm paying them this time.
Yeah, probably.
So this is the first time, if I didn't say before, I've paid voice actors. So far, so good. But I got really talented voice actors, so I don't think there's any problems. It's just, apprehension, right? Mm-hmm. It's like watching your first stuff animated again, and you're like, oh, it better be good. There's no glitches, is there?
Well, the thing with me, too, is that I just get overwhelmed, too. Like, listening to, whatever, 6-7 hours of audio and then, picking takes and everything can be really exhausting sometimes. So I try to do it as I try not to edit the whole movie, you know what I mean? But as scene-by-scene basis, then I start editing all the audio clips into the order I want them and what takes I'm going to use. Because if I do it all at once, I just get too frazzled and overwhelmed. And
yeah, I'm doing the script in 12-page chunks, so I only need to do, so the way I'm doing it, since I'm using the auto lip sync, which is probably similar to what you do, right? The auto lip sync. So then you have to create the audio file with the exact timing and length of the shot to match the lip sync, right?
Yep.
And then if you have multiple characters, the way I have to do it, then you have to split off different audio files for each character, but they need to have the same timing so that they work, right?
Yeah, you mean say the first character's 5 seconds, you gotta have 5 seconds of blank on the second character?
Yeah, so then you bring it up, in the audio program, and you line them up so they're talking to each other, but then, so one has nothing. It's just silence before they do their line, and then if there's multiple characters, you have multiple tracks, and because that's something, too, that kind of gets overlooked when you're like, oh, I'm ready, I got the characters, I got the dialogue, but then in this, if you're doing automatic lip sync or just lip sync period, you have to spend all the time, preparing the audio files, which can, drag you down, because it takes a while.
Well, usually I roughly edit the whole scene, just audio, scene at a time, so that it's timed already kind of correctly. I extend it a little bit once I get the frames out and stuff. But I also try not to have, I know it's kind of cheating, but I try not to have multiple lines on the same shot anyway, just for that same reason. So I try to have, every time somebody talks, I try to make it a new shot.
Yeah, I try to do that too, but sometimes...
sometimes you have to do it the other way, but...
Yeah, if it's a group...
If I can get away with it.
Yeah, there's definitely shortcuts and things you can take to fix that, or cutaways, or shots where there's no one in the scene, so you can just lay a line over without having to worry about the lip sync.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was wondering when David said he doesn't make shortcuts, but I started thinking, I was like, drinking, you could have him wear a big ass mustache. you can just, masks is what I've done, but I no longer fear lip sync.
Well, lip sync's really easy for me, because all you do is export the audio, and then you just write it into a text document, and Mimic does most of the work for me. Lip sync's a piece of cake for me. Then you just you export it as its own file, and then you just place it on your character.
Speaking of that, we were looking at facial motion capture this week.
Yeah, I got those programs, but I haven't. I've been kind of afraid to use them because I know it's going to be another 3 days of learning, and I'm going to have to stop and do it.
So there's a couple programs that came out to use the Kinect or similar cameras that are supposed to do facial motion capture. And I guess Jimmy got his hands on a couple of those, so we were talking about them. Because in the future, I'd like to check those out too. But I guess the thing I wasn't really sure about is how do you convert it to your character head? Does it drive morphs? Does it move targets on the face? How does it work?
Well, I'm not sure how the facial motion capture works just yet, but for the regular motion capture I do, what you do is you export your character as a BVH, and that's just his skeleton or whatever. And then when you do your motion capture in IPI Studio, which is what I use, when it's all, after you have it all captured and, ready to export, you import that BVH file of your static character, and it matches up all the limbs to it. And then you re-export it again.
So what does it do on the face, though? Do you have to have facial bones or morphs?
Yeah, I'm assuming it works as the same way. I'm just assuming that, though. But I'm not sure if either one of those programs are set up for Poser just yet, which is another problem. IPI Studio is not made for Poser, but they know that people are going to be using Poser with it, so they put in stuff to do that with.
Because you know what I mean? It's every face is different, and you have different... It's if you're using morphs, how do you drive that? Because the morphs have different points and are totally different from head to head. So then would it have to have bones, a jawbone, and then different bones that it could drive? Or I've seen ones that have, I know Jeff Liu in his Killer Bee movie, he used 2D tracking to do facial motion capture, where he just put trackers on his face, and then he had what are they called? You can do them in Cinema 4D, the cluster deformers. So you have like these little points on the face, so when you move them, it'll move the lip up or the cheek, whatever. So he just matched them up and then tied the tracking data from the video of his face to those little points in 3D, and then it did that. But I guess for me, I don't understand how how 3D facial motion capture will apply it to a character head.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming that's how it works, because I mean that's what it does in Mimic. It just has all the morphs programmed in.
So, but that one's analyzing the audio, right? Taking it just from the audio, not from facial motion capture.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it does a similar thing where it analyzes the audio and then morphs the face based on it using the already built-in morphs.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if either one of the programs I'm talking about are Face Shift and Nui Capture.
Because the ideal way that you and I were talking about is like if we got to record our voice actors and then like film their faces as they were doing the lines, and then we had the audio from the line and we had the video to use for facial motion capture. Like that would be the ideal if we could just tie those together, right?
Yeah, well, the thing with the two programs is that Face Shift is just for the face. Like, it doesn't do anything else. And then that Nui Capture one, you can do body and face at the same time. So you can actually just have the actor delivering his lines on screen and doing whatever, motions he would do for those lines. And supposedly it'll pick up both.
Because, and I'm thinking about, like, how they did Avatar, and I know they had actors wearing those suits, like the actors who actually did the voices. But I think they did the facial stuff all by hand. I don't think they captured that because it would be too hard or something. But I'm just using no automatic puppet mouth lip sync in the new movie. But in the future, the next one, I'd like to try something like that to get it more nuanced.
Well, that's another thing is I'm already 20 minutes into this movie or whatever. So if I start doing facial motion capture halfway through, I don't know how well it would match, but maybe I should just do it. No,
they'll go into like the facial dimension, so then everyone's facial animation just gets better for narrative purposes.
I just work it into the story.
Hello, James.
Yeah, what's up?
We're doing the podcast actually right now.
Oh, shit.
Hello, James.
Hello.
So we were just talking about facial motion capture.
Oh, shit, yeah.
What do you think about that?
I actually saw a project that used facial motion capture just for After Effects on 2D images. I like the way that looked. I don't know about on 3D model.
Hey, but come on, James, we're 3D around here, man. We're 3D, not 2D.
You and Jimmy may be like fucking 3D masters, of the universe and shit, fucking Dolph Lundgren and shit. I'm not. I fucking make retarded shit in 3D. My strong suit is 2D, so suck my dick.
You're like a daywalker. You just go in between the two.
I would like to say I'm more like a tranny. I'm in between.
2D. Well, you know that. Did you ever see that Killer Bean feature film by Jeff Liu?
I haven't seen it. I heard of it, and I've seen like behind the scenes shit for it.
So yeah, he used 2D motion capture to do his 3D facial motion.
Oh.
So that's a way to do it. But we were just talking about shortcuts and stuff, and
No, I saw a project that actually it used the person used like painted like stills, and then did motion tracking in After Effects to move puppet pins to move the face.
Yeah, isn't there like a script or something on AE scripts to do that? I think there was some.
I don't know about a script, but I saw it done by hand. I've seen, and it looks pretty awesome. It's fucking trippy as hell. I've been thinking about maybe using it for something, but yeah.
But it's a 2.5D solution, James. 2.5D.
You're halfway there, bro.
Yeah, fucking yeah.
So,
by the way, how horrible do I sound? I'm on my tablet right now.
You sound like you're in the post-PC era.
Yeah. No, I've actually been trying to look for Android animation solutions. There's not too many.
Come on,
yet.
James. How are you going to animate on a tablet?
Christ sakes, James!
Don't make me send you that David Lynch clip where he's talking about watching movies on a phone.
Yeah.
It's a classic clip.
And then I'll have to make a new one like, you think you can animate on a fucking tablet? So what's the how's your project coming along, James?
How long have you guys been casting?
What's that?
How long have you been podcasting today?
Like 10 minutes, 20 minutes.
Is that why you weren't responding to me?
Yeah, well, I lost a hearing in one of my ears too, so it's hard for me to respond on the internet.
It's hard for him to read with his bad ear.
Sweet, now I have an excuse, but hopefully I don't have it in the near future.
My hands, motherfucker.
So, James, give us an update on your project, James.
Oh no, I want to update you on what's in my hands.
What's in your hands?
My dick.
Jimmy warned us. He said, "Don't call James. It's I can sense it. There's a disruption in the force." So is this pornography then?
No. But no. My project has been going fairly slowly, but just because there's so much footage to go through. In the meantime, I've been spending a little bit of time here and there trying to get reacquainted with Cinema 4D release 14.
Oh yeah, but not 14. You need to ask Jimmy.
What? I like 14.
I know you do. I don't.
You haven't even really tried it yet.
11.5, fool.
Living it now, bro.
No.
I actually just solved an issue I was having with going between body paint and normal modeling, where the viewports refused to refresh, so I couldn't see what the hell I was doing after coming back from body paint. If anyone has that issue, I think the only solution is to update your video drivers.
You can try turning off linear, the linear color too, linear lighting in the viewport.
I tried changing settings in the viewport and nothing happened.
Oh, really? Yeah, I think they have I don't know if you can use the newest. There's there's a lot of driver issues with Cinema 4D 14 and NVIDIA and ATI cards.
Yeah. But once I turned off OpenGL and updated my video card, I was okay. So.
But you can turn OpenGL back on, right?
I can turn it back on. I just don't feel it.
Really? But it's half as slow.
I'll work in slow motion.
No, man. It's 2013, bro. You need to work in super speed.
Says the man on 11.5.
Shut up. It's faster per cycle.
Yeah, you.
Does that make sense? Did anybody believe me?
No.
But actually, 14, I did some tests on character animation, and it's 250% faster. 14 is than 11.5, so it's worth it.
Yeah.
If you're not a stalwart like me.
I've actually, I really don't like the character animator on it.
I think the tool?
Yeah, it really, I don't know. I'm just not happy with it, just because there's so many. I think it's a pain when you have to edit the weights.
It's clunky. I mean, before I used it, I was like, "That's a great idea," but then when I tested it, it's pretty slow and clunky, and not really that flexible.
But Cinema 4D has gotten to the point where just animating with just making a rig with Cinema 4D isn't too bad. In fact, that's what I've been doing, especially for stuff that I've been putting into Unity. So it's not bad. That's the end of the story.
Come on, James. You can't just end stories like that.
that's how I end my stories, you know. Fucking it's the end of the story.
No, man, you need to do the Joel Silver, Michael Bay technique, where every 5 minutes there needs to be sex, explosion, horror. Something needs to happen.
And then Jeff Goldblum, uploaded this fucking, virus.
Oh, wow.
And then the end.
And maybe we should talk about movies.
Oh, shit. Talking about movies. Guess what I have?
What?
Fucking TerrorVision on Blu-ray.
Really? It's on Blu-ray.
It's a double disc of TerrorVision and Video Dead.
Oh, that one came out too?
It's in the same package.
What else did the TerrorVision dude direct?
I don't know. I know the studio that did it was Empire, which was the people that put out Reanimator. But the director, let me see.
Because that was such a weird movie. I saw it when I was a kid too. It's like, what is it? It's like people, they get an alien beam through their satellite dish that absorbs humans.
The director did Subspecies.
Never saw it.
It's a full movie.
Subspecies 2. And Subspecies 3. And Leapin' Leprechauns.
That's a Moonbeam movie, right?
Yeah. And then Subspecies 4.
Moonbeam's really fucking weird. Like, I know Full Moon is weird, but they had a sub-label called Moonbeam that was for kids. And like they released some weird ass movies on that label. Like Leapin' Leprechauns.
It's a kids movie?
Yeah, like Moonbeam was Full Moon's version of kids movies, so all their kiddie movies they would release on that label. They have like a Jack and the Beanstalk movie and shit, and they have all this wacky, weird movies. There's one called Pet Shop that's pretty weird.
The point is, he made amazing, awesome shits. So, yeah.
Yeah, if anybody has never seen TerrorVision, that's definitely one to watch. And
don't you have a character in
We Are the Strange? Yeah, one of the monsters is called TerrorVision, which I modeled based on the monster in TerrorVision. It's a monster that comes down the street in one part, chases after rain. But yeah, that was a really freaky movie because it like absorbs people, and it kind of had a tie-in to me to Beastmaster, like those dudes who like absorb that midget, because the TerrorVision turned people to goo too, so they both turn things to goo.
Oh, stuff.
Do you have any comments on that Beastmaster monster, James?
The thing is, the Beastmaster monster was scary, but it wasn't as scary as the TerrorVision monster, just because it absorbed people and then made puppets out of them. So they're kind of like, the TerrorVision monster was kind of like you, MDOT. You absorb people's powers and then making puppets.
Whose powers am I absorbing?
Fucking mine.
I'm absorbed. Hey, well, let me absorb someone's motherfucking hearing right now, then.
So,
give me a left ear. If you didn't, you probably don't. Whatever. So like a week ago or 10 days ago now, I just woke up with like no hearing in my left ear, and it's been ringing ever since. So that's why I'm making jokes about hearing. But I hope it comes back, because then my mixes are going to be really imbalanced if it doesn't.
Well, I had that issue a couple months ago, and my hearing came back.
Really?
Yeah. The thing is, you got to really take care of your fucking ears. Have you been digging in your ears too much, M-Dot?
No.
Have you been using that wax away shit, that wax vacuum?
No.
Have you been putting dicks in your ears?
Well, human or animal? So what did you do? How long did it take for it to come back?
It took about a good month, but afterwards, like, you know what? My hearing came back after like a nickel-sized piece of dry earwax came out of my head.
Weird. No, because like I went to the hospital and shit, and they did all this different stuff, and they're like, it's mysterious. We don't know what it is. Hopefully it comes back. So
give us some money and get the fuck out.
Stop listening to all that fucking King Diamond. Stop listening to that King Diamond, that Megadeth, fucking you metalhead.
No, it was more like Machine Head was my thing, and Cannibal Corpse. At the Berkeley Square, oh yeah. But 90s metal stories aside, Oh, actually, there was a metal dude in Terror Vision. Remember, like the boyfriend of the girl, and he had like the wrist wrap that made the monster like obey him.
Yeah, he was like, this monster listens to metal.
And then he got absorbed. Blah.
He was the also in Napoleon Dynamite.
Was he? Same guy?
He was the creepy uncle.
Hey, but wasn't Terror Vision kind of like the Thing, and then it absorbed people and then can emulate them?
That's what I was saying, yeah. Make like puppets out of them, like, you know.
So it's less like me and more like the Thing. Yeah.
Well, you're kind of like the Thing.
You think so?
Kind of. I mean, like, there was that time that, like, fucking Kurt Russell was after you.
Yeah, that's true.
And that time where you, like, accepted...
hey, wait, my brother's name is Kurt. Oh, my God. What does it mean?
It's all coming together.
Hey, wait, aren't we supposed to be talking about movies?
Yeah, but there was also that time that you, like, accepted that, like, that the Quaker Oats guy, the diabetes guy, you accepted him, and then you fucking... You were, like, emulating him.
Wilford Brimley? Yeah, my mustache and glasses phase.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's about when I met you, right, James? I was looking like Wilford Brimley.
I know.
At the, what was that theater called? It was in Silver Lake?
I don't think it was as much of a theater as it was like a seedy, like, alleyway.
Yeah.
And, like, fucking... Yeah.
So I met James at this film festival in Silver Lake, and then I remember I was talking to these dudes about rooster steroids.
I don't know what the fuck you were talking about. I was sitting there, I was playing my fucking Mario Kart while you were with the cool kids. I was like, look at that M-Dot. Fucking Mario Kart now.
We were talking about rooster steroids, because my family used to own, like, a farm store, and I used to work there, and they sold, like, for cockfighting, they sold Rooster Booster, like, steroids for roosters. And I never took it or anything, though.
That's why you lost your hearing. You never took it, quote unquote.
Have you ever seen Death Metal Rooster?
No.
No, really? If you guys have never seen that, go on YouTube and look up Death Metal Rooster. It's pretty epic.
So how has your movie been going? Or have you already talked about that when I wasn't on the podcast? Oops.
Oh, hell no. Oh, hell.
That's like a challenge.
Yeah, I'm doing walk cycles right now. I decided to do all the walk cycles for all the characters ahead of time, and I just got the first batch of voice acting, but I'm too terrified to listen to it, so it'll probably take me a couple days to listen to it, because I'm terrified.
You know what? Fuck your fucking, walk cycles. You know what you do? You take your fucking character,
okay.
You put the jiggle deformer on it,
all right.
Paint some vertex, you paint some weight on him,
okay.
And make his legs all jiggly,
right.
And then you just shake him about, and it makes it look like he's walking.
Okay, let me try it. Okay, I got it. James, I've got it. Jimmy, I've got it.
I'm proud of you, bro.
Have you got it?
No.
Hey, what about you give some advice to Jimmy about his motion capture? That's too complicated, right? You probably got something simpler, James. Come on, help him out.
Come on, James, simplify my life.
Okay, instead of fucking motion capturing, you put some fucking wiggle on your fucking character and make a wiggle and makes it look like it's moving.
I'm noticing a pattern here.
I think it'll work though.
I actually can't put any wiggle deformers on poser characters. I've tried. They don't wiggle.
Oh, because it overrides animation or something?
I guess. I don't know why it doesn't work. I don't know the mechanics behind it.
So what now, James? Where's your wiggle god now? Where's your wiggle god now?
Alright, this is what you do. You fucking you explode your fucking poser character.
Okay.
You take all the groups and you put wiggles on each of the groups so that all the arms and legs are moving independently of each other.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
That don't work. That don't work, bro.
It's fucking it's like breaking. It's like breaking.
Should I be? Is it okay that I'm jizzing right now? Is that appropriate? Is that an appropriate response? I don't go outside much, so I'm not sure anymore.
Is it all right that I, tore a hole through time and space, and I jizzed through it, and that hole came through your urethra?
Yeah, is that okay?
By whose standards?
Hey, Jimmy, didn't you have some questions about Cinema 4D?
Oh, should we even bother?
Not male reproductive anatomy, James.
That's all James knows about.
Damn, when did you become what's a gynecologist for men? What is that called? Urologist?
It's called fucking projecting movies on the side of my D.
Oh, yeah. So I've been doing that. I haven't got many more sales, though.
In fact, people run away.
They're running away to see the side of my D.
Oh,
he just has a better presentation going on.
So, yeah, do we have any other like questions from listener questions we can have James answer?
Yeah, there is a whole bunch.
Oh, there is.
Oh, no, well, like 3 or 4.
That's a whole bunch to us.
Okay. Is there an update on that dude Josh who is making of documentary for Heartstring Marionette, or did the hot vacuum cleaner action scare him off?
Well, he emailed me, and the vacuum cleaner did not scare him off. And actually, we should have him on the podcast and ask him some questions about it, because I don't know. I mean, I just gave him all the footage, so we'd have to ask Josh. So, Josh, if you're out there, let's have you on the next episode. So, hopefully, we can answer that soon.
Can you guys break down what kinds of stuff you do for compositing and After Effects? How much of your final look comes straight out of C4D, and how much layering / post work do you do to achieve the final result?
Ooh.
Break it down. Boom.
Jimmy?
Actually, this brings me to one of my questions I had for you. I was going to ask you how you did your sky replacement, mainly just what object you use to track. Like,
Okay.
do you use like a big plane in the sky, or do you use a sky object? Or?
So what I do is that I have this preset where it's 4 spotlights that are like way the fuck out at the horizon in all 4 directions, like up where the sky is, and then they have a tag on them, a look at camera tag, so they're always looking at the camera. So I have 4 of them, right? So then when I save out the After Effects project, I have these lights that are always looking at the camera that are way the fuck out there. So then I just paste like my sky layer in After Effects onto the position of those. Mm-hmm. And then I have these 4, they're just flat planes, but they're so far out there that it doesn't look like it's a square. So I just use lights.
Ow.
So that was a disgusting sound, James. So I don't use the compositing tags or any of that stuff, so I just use lights.
I have to try that because I fuck it up all the time.
Because you can, in After Effects, you can option drag and replace stuff. Mm-hmm. So then I just option drag like my sky image onto the light, and then it takes all its position and rotation and shit. No, it's super easy, super stable, and that's what I've used forever. So
I'm gonna give that a try. As for my answer to the question, I mainly just do coloring and After Effects, and if I have any, I very rarely have post effects, but I do them occasionally.
And I guess the dude was asking what layers do you render out of Cinema 4D that you use in After Effects?
Oh, I only use a depth pass, which now I use Z-Blur, so it's technically a post effect layer.
And I use RGBA, which is just a regular image, depth, and then I use material luminance too. So anything that's glowing or is luminant in the scene, I get a separate pass, and then I apply a glow on top of that, and I use screen mode. So that's how I get all my lanterns and all that shit to glow extra. So it's through a material luminance pass.
Well, I guess technically then I would do the depth in After Effects too, since I use that lens care thing.
Yeah, the blurring, and then I use the depth pass with my dust, like my practical dust footage, to add more atmosphere. I do a Lumimat to add more atmosphere in there, and that's pretty much it.
Mm-hmm. James?
What?
James,
go back to bed, James.
Should we let you go?
No.
James is a little preoccupied.
Told you what's on my hands.
James is too busy touching his dick. Like he's never seen it before. What's this?
Yeah, what if there was a pill?
What
What if there was a pill that gave you like dick amnesia? So you forgot you had one. You didn't know anything about it. You're like, oh my god, what is this thing? Whoa, what can it do? Whoa.
Well, what you do is you make sure you get some kind of like bacterial infection, and then your dick constantly changes.
Really?
Fuck yeah.
Or you could just make your hands go to sleep and then jerk off, and you're like, oh my god, it's someone else's hand.
It would always be a male if it's James, though.
I only get hand jobs from men, bro. I like them women hands.
You want me to answer the question, or?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, I tried using multiple passes. Usually I never really took full advantage of them. So what I do now is just a RGB pass, a depth pass. Once I'm in After Effects, that's where I do all my fog effects. Sometimes I do some additional camera work in there if I feel like not re-rendering stuff out. Like, my stuff looks like crap already, so I don't care if I make it look worse.
So you can only do additional camera work if the camera isn't moving, right?
Well, no, I can zoom in, I could crop out, I could make things wiggle a little bit more. Like, it's not gonna look great, but like for the looks that I try to achieve, it works. And I mostly do use the curves for color correction, as well as magic bullet looks.
Oh, and here's a little tip. Speaking of curves, so if you do have a depth pass, you can create an adjustment layer with curves, and then use the depth pass as a luma mat, so you can selectively control the brightness or use the curves on just the background of your scene or the stuff farther from the camera. I do that too.
What is the RGB pass actually for? Like, what
it's everything. It's just your normal image.
Oh, okay. What's the benefits of having one?
Well, that's the only way of getting like your whole image out if you're using multiple passes.
Oh,
because
if you're doing multiple passes, RGB would be your normal image.
Yeah, it's RGBA, so it's just it's a regular image with the alpha channel. Because, that multi-pass started with just for still imagery, so people would do diffusion pass, luminance, ambient occlusion, and rebuild the entire image based on all the channels. But if you don't want to do that, just bring over the RGBA, or I think it's called a beauty pass. I think that's what it's referred to, a beauty pass too. Or your color pass. It's just it's a normal one.
I see.
Yeah, but you don't need, because you have all those different channels. The only other one I've used sometimes is an atmosphere pass. So if you have visible or volumetric lights, it puts them on their own pass, but it hasn't really been that useful. So for me, just RGBA depth and material luminance if you have luminant materials.
And I would warn anyone doing color correction to make sure you have some kind of spectrometer on. I forget what the setting is, but you can see whether your red screens and blues are clipping.
You mean for live action?
Yeah, well, I'm saying for even for when you render out the Cinema 4D, because sometimes when you put in the magic bullet looks, you'll crush so much information that it's just gonna look cruddy. And you're not gonna know it's gonna look that cruddy until you have to compress the video, until you have to until you look at the video quite a bit.
Yeah, reds are notoriously horrible for compression. Yeah, reds look really bad.
Make sure you're not completely crushing your blacks and your whites by looking at some kind of spectrometer. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm holding on my D.
Okay.
It'd been a few minutes since he mentioned his dick. Started getting antsy.
Start getting ant on my D.
Did that answer that question about passes and stuff?
I believe so.
Yeah, just don't overcomplicate it. Like, you can make it look good with just the RGBA and a depth. Anything else, maybe, like I say, I use material, but you don't need all those other... I'm saying you don't need it. I'm sure people are like, no, but ambient occlusion and diffusion, but I don't use them.
All right. Next question. M. Your new characters are looking fantastic. Can you guys share a bit on how you come up with each character, like their personalities, what they kind of do, how they act and react? I tend to act my characters out in my living room and look like a weirdo doing so, but it at least gets me in their heads.
Jimmy, what you say?
I don't really have a method, honestly. I write the script first, and then I just hope since I do the voice acting pretty early, I just hope that whoever I get for acting adds a little bit of personality into the character.
And then as far as like making how the way the characters look and everything?
Yeah, I kind of base it half on the script and half on how the voice comes out. I just see what I can come up with from there. I don't really have a specific method or anything.
Oh, okay. In my new movie, my last movie or my stuff before, I tweak a lot off character design. Like, what are they going to look like? But on this one, I just didn't give a shit. And I just went into ZBrush and I was like, I'm just going to make the simplest character head imaginable. And I just did them all really quick and didn't even care. And it kind of made those characters, which aren't super stylish or unique, I don't think. But so I just didn't care. I just tried to make a character that had the dimensions of a ball joint doll. If you look those up, like there's hobbyists in Japan all over the world who make their own ball joint dolls. So I just wanted to make my own ball joint doll characters and just did it really fast because I think I could do like 5 of those heads like in a day. So it was really easy. And my approach is just, you write it, you have your script, and you know the energy of your character or what it's supposed to embody, so then you just visually try to represent that. So if it's a little cute little character, then he needs to be a short little dude with a big head or, whatever you're going to do. And so that dictates what they look like, and I just try to keep it simple for animation and everything else. So they're not really complicated. They don't have 12 arms and all this crazy clothing and shit. So I just try to keep it simple.
Jiggity James.
Wiggle. He's going to say wiggle in his dick.
He wiggles his dick.
Wiggle your dick. So, no, really, as far as character design, most of the projects I work on, I had characters I had to base my models after. So I didn't really do with character design. But for my own personal projects, usually I have some kind of character I've seen or I've read about or someone I know that uses like a foundation, and then I build from there to kind of get the characteristics I would want out of that kind of character. Like, for example, with this project I'm working on now, I had a webcam performer, but I kind of based off of like that webcam performer that starts screaming at her audience about, giving her money so that she could strip.
Oh yeah.
And then I took that, used that as a base, and that I built onto that with like themes of child abuse and themes, like almost like mixed it with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like the dad from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or what? Not the dad, the guy that made the chili.
Mm-hmm. The uncle.
Yeah. So it's like you really need. I feel you need some kind of existing base, and then you just alter it from there in order to get an original character. Otherwise, you're going to have to spend so much time finding out the intentions and the background and just the general history of a character before even thinking about what the character might look like or how they might act. Also, you wiggle your D.
Yeah, I would have to say a true dat, not to the wiggling the genitals, but the basing the characters. So, like, the main character in my new movie, I Am Nightmare, the character Teeny, I pretty much, like, he's going to be like M from We Are the Strange, so I based him off that character. So, yeah, I'd say find a base, or, like, if you're going to do a little hero kid like Astro Boy or Goku or something. But, yeah, look to something and build off from that. So I think that's good advice from James there. Not the wiggling your genital part, but the character basing, yeah. Genitals don't make movies, James. Well, in Hollywood they do, but not in our bedrooms.
Only sucking genitals in Hollywood gets movies made.
Yeah.
Well, what are you talking about? I have a lot of movies with my genitals in them.
James. Hey, you
put it away, James.
Weren't you living in Hollywood, James, for a while?
Dude, why do you think I'm so obsessed with penis?
What did you learn from the time as a young man living in Los Angeles, Hollywood?
If you don't breathe through your nose, you can't taste the D.
Okay, wait, let me see. If you don't breathe through your nose, you can't taste the D. Okay, what else?
You learned nothing else.
Honestly, what I learned was you could, if you have connections into the film industry, like someone who's been working within the film industry, usually you can get by with no talent, no idea what you're doing, as long as you're charismatic about it. And that's why Catherine Bigelow is a filmmaker.
Yep. And she was sucking on James Cameron's D. So
so then all she needed to do was be like, I want to make this movie, and then stand on set, and the other people would do her work for her.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, real women directors, they're actually busting their ass and not getting recognized for it. I don't know their names because they're not Catherine Bigelow.
Because you're not recognizing them, James, you sexist.
See, James, you're part of the problem.
Well, I'm too busy with the D.
That reminds me. Shouldn't we try to have some other women animators and filmmakers on the show? Right?
Yeah,
should.
I mean, I don't know any though.
Yeah, we should. We gotta.
I know actresses.
I'm gonna look and see what's out there, and I'll get some female filmmakers and animators on this podcast if they'll come on with James.
I know. Well, I'm a fucking gentleman. I'm all about the D, not the P. No, I would suggest going for getting some actresses on the podcast, just because there's so much of our work. Much of our work is reliant on performances. It's good to get some kind of perspective, especially from someone of the female persuasion. I mean, whenever I direct females, I'm fucking awkward as shit. I want someone to tell me, not to be awkward and creepy and staring at them as they undress.
James, you need an adult.
Well, I know after the voice actors for my new movie are done, I definitely want to get the voice actors for my new movie on here because I think that would be cool. And
I could certainly talk to some of the actresses that I've worked with who have actually been a part of the Troma's Return to Nukem High.
Yeah, that might actually be cool because you can ask them about their creepy experiences and what
ask them about me creeping on them, and then be like, how they could perform with a fucking inept director who's sitting there rubbing his dick on the fucking camera assistant. But
you weren't making quacking noises or anything on set, were you?
I wasn't making quacking noises.
Okay, that's good.
I was cackling. I did have a rubber chicken that I had someone fuck.
But you didn't quack, if they're so what should I do in the scene? You just want no?
Well, no. It was more what should I do in the scene? And then I was done, and then I could tell them what to do in the scene.
That might be worse. Jimmy, I think that's worse than quacking.
But no, I certainly, I think that the first place we should be looking is, actresses, and I'm sure, any actresses that we speak with would wholly recommend, a female directors and animators.
Yeah, and actually I'm going to, some composers or musicians, if there's anybody out there who has any recommendations for guests, let us know on the Facebook page, let Jimmy know, or leave a comment somewhere, anywhere, email me, whatever, and we'll go out there and try to get them on. And yeah, I have a couple people in mind actually right now thinking about it, so. Because me and Jimmy are always let's do a show, but then we're we don't have any guests, so.
Well, I could always be guests if you weren't doing that 4 a.m.
James, you're always trying to change us. You're trying to change us.
I want to gender change you to some men.
Well, that's not going to happen this lifetime. I'm happy with my Chris Chan-like autistic basement non-male existence.
Fucking playing with naked anime figurines, making your movies.
That's what I'm talking about.
See, James, you can just make them talk dirty to you. You can just get your little 3D characters, make them talk dirty to you, and then you'll be all set. You won't have to be creepy with the real girls.
How come you're not making like 3D crazy porn animations, James? Come on.
The fuck, James?
Yeah, come on. We want to see some disgusting stuff. Do it.
Well, I suck at fucking anime.
Come on, dude. Do the wiggle thing you said about the wiggle.
Fucking wiggle some shit, bro.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I see what you're coming at.
If anybody wants to see that, email James. Find him. Tell him you want him to create some disgusting 3D animation.
Talking about 3D animated porn, I've actually found this awesome guy who's making porn using a fucking Source engine.
Really?
Yeah, it's fucking. I think it's called Source Porn Filmmaker or Source Porn Maker. But he's been making like fucking, chicks with dicks fucking each other in Source.
How did he do it?
I could fucking ask him. Put him on the podcast. Be like, how did you put that D on her?
Well, dude, contact him. Let's get him on the show.
Contact him. This is your podcast, bitch.
I don't know where this dude's at.
He doesn't even exist. It's James.
Yeah, it's you.
Alter ego.
Where am I?
Good question.
Let me search for this. I'm unable to find it on the internet of computers.
Doesn't exist.
You know what? You got your fucking. You make me look up your porn for you. fucking lazy ass. Fucking Ned Doc and fucking Jimmy fucking gay claws.
Hey, come on! I can't hear out of one ear. Come on.
Fucking.
So yeah, we need some guests. So if people have some guest ideas,
we have one more question.
Oh, we do. What is it? Sweet.
Oh wait, Internet Explorer is being stupid, or Firefox is being
Internet Explorer.
No, Internet Explorer is the one that's working correctly. Firefox is the one being a dick lately. All right, here we go. Would you guys consider working on a group project as opposed to stay forever alone? On a strictly tech level, obviously both ways have their pros and cons, but in your case, I'm curious if there is some sort of dogma as the foundation for the way you make your films, or if the decision came out of necessity.
Jimmy?
I mean, I just don't know how. I don't know how to work with somebody on, like especially you. We're on like two completely different levels. Like I don't know how I'd work on a movie with you. Like, unless it was an anthology. I mean, that would work.
Huh.
Well, couldn't you use like XRefs? Like someone would do their own animation, and all of it would come together with XRefs.
In theory, yes, but then there's all kinds of weird. Well, no, I guess that would. Yeah, that would work.
And my fucking armpits smell like Funyuns.
Okay.
But no, like it's the like whole Ralph Bakshi idea of animation, where you say you take that character, you take that character. It doesn't really matter if they don't match like completely. Like if you just take over a character, it's not going to look inconsistent in animation. It's just going to look like different style characters in all encapsulated in one world.
Yeah, and I guess what the dude's asking you too, Jimmy, is like whether you're against it fundamentally or whether you just do this out of necessity. Would you be open to it?
It's necessity for me.
Yeah, same here. Like, I'm open. Like, that's what I try to do. Before I made We Are the Strange, I used to meet with these 5 people who were animation students in the university, and we tried to work together, and I tried to work with them. We had all these meetings, and then just nothing came out of it. They weren't doing anything. It wasn't moving forward, so I was just like, okay, I guess I'll just make it by myself. But I'm open to it, but, with no budget, it's really, really hard. And I've seen project after project fail online with no budget, with just people trying to get together, other than the Blender projects, but that's because they have, like, some kind of infrastructure or base behind them. But I'm open to it. It's just, without a budget, I think it's hard to do.
Do you think preparation H-wipes will clean out the Funyun armpits?
No. So, I think it is possible, and it's going to get easier with stuff like Dropbox and using XRefs and things like that. So I'm open to it. I mean, I would see that in the future. Maybe like there would be movie studios across the internet, as we all have like gigabit fucking download and upload speed. But sure, it's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, the way, like, how would we work together right now? Let's say, we had a script, we had storyboards or something, and then what? Like, let's say I modeled a character, Jimmy, and rigged it up for Poser and gave it to you or something. And then you animated it. I had the set. I used XREFs for the characters. I set up the camera. Like, yeah, I guess we'd have to think about.
I guess the way it'd make the most amount of sense is splitting up the pages. Like, you do this page or this set of pages and this set of pages or scenes, split it up by scenes. I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess it could work that way.
Well, you could also have the ability to use Source Filmmaker to kind of... You already could use that to collaborate where, like, you play a multiplayer level, you act as that person, you act as that person, you act as that person. That collaboration already happens within that application.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like the idea of everyone animating one character, but it just seems like it can get, I don't know, it just seems like it can get a little cluttered. Sending the same shot 3 different times or whatever.
Well, you don't necessarily need to set up the same shot like 3 different times. You just need to, like, for example, like you would animate a character in I guess in like a rudimentary level, and then somebody would take over that level and say, like, all right, well, this is what the level's going to look like, and this is how close this character is going to be to this character. Like, you would just worry about almost like you're going to make your, and now this is meta, you're going to have your 3D characters acting to like a null object of what that the other character is going to be.
Oh no, green screen Star Wars episode. Uh-oh.
It's fucking meta.
Fucking meta.
Well, it's just like, so technically it's feasible and possible when we have social networks and file sharing and fucking cloud sync and all that shit. So it's totally possible. I think it's just an administrative thing. It's just about getting people together and working together on the same thing for no money. And because I monitor, whenever I see those projects online, like, let's make a movie together, like, I always, watch them, and it just seems like someone wants to be the director, but they don't have any money, so people don't want to do what they want, and then they do something else, and time, so, yeah, it's just about managing people.
I mean, how do like the major animation movies get made? Do they break them up by shots, or is it like you do the hair, you do the cloth, you do the facial,
kind of both?
Body?
Yeah, they do both. So they have people doing different shots and different characters. So there could be like 3 people doing the same character across a movie. And then, they'll just do the character animation, and then someone else is doing the dynamics, someone else is lighting, someone else is rendering, someone else is the TD dealing with the rigging. It's all split up like that. So they use like an instance or XREF or whatever workflow so that everyone's working on the same shit and it all comes together in the end. As far as I know.
As far as you know.
AFIK.
Admit it, and you're just moonlighting. You moonlight as a lone, forever alone filmmaker, but you're really working for some studio. You're some studio hobby.
Yep, that's why I have the luxurious, lavish life that I have, and the designer clothing and bicycle with the front wheel on my bike sounds like Freddy Krueger fucking scratches nails on the wall. Talking. So when I ride down the street, it like echoes everywhere, like these scratching like noises. It's pretty great.
I discovered recently I only own 3 pairs of pants.
Yeah, same here. And they're all the same ones.
Pajama pants. I got a lot of pajama pants.
And mine are all the same color and the same brand.
Mine are all black, yeah.
Mine are all black Ben Davis pants.
Okay, well, I own fucking 3 pants. 2 of them are blue jeans, and 1 pants is fucking Batman PJs.
Oh, but wait.
Shit.
But for Christmas...
Got the Batman PJs.
For Christmas, or I had to go swimming when I was up at my sister's house, so then she gave me these camouflage shorts that are her boyfriend, so now I have camouflage shorts, too. Yep.
Oh, shit.
Yep.
Well, look at Mr. Lottie Da over here.
Yep. And they have like 4 pockets. Yep.
Whoa.
Yep. That's right. So no, someone asked me that recently if I would do work for studios or whatever, and I mean, once you start making your own movies, like, why would you want to work for someone else? I mean, I guess they would pay you like money, but what is money supposed to buy you?
I don't know. I just seem to send it all to the landlord.
I mean, it's supposed to buy you a place to sleep, food to eat. No, this can't buy you happiness. Is it supposed to buy you like what else is supposed to buy you?
Drugs. Supposed to put you fucking TerraVision and Video Dead on Blu-ray.
I could just download that.
Oh no, you can't. No, you can't. That is illegal, and then you are going to get like butt fucked by the police.
So I guess that's the thing. If you're an up and coming like filmmaker, animator, and it's like, I could go work for a big company, or I can make my own shit. And if you already had a place to live and like food and like all this shit, then wouldn't you just be like, yeah, fuck that, I'm gonna make my movies? I don't know.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do we have any other questions that I can answer?
There's one other one, but it was basically the same thing again about the multipass and stuff.
Oh. Well, we're right up to, I think, what would be the end of the show anyway, so if you gentlemen don't have anything else to add, Jimmy, it feels like you have something to say, Jimmy.
No. I got nothing, bro. Sorry.
So what are you going to go do, Jimmy? What are you working on today for the new movie?
Lately I've been splitting up the day, half the days for movie and half the days for the music video I'm doing for Grim the Rapist. So that's what I've been doing.
When's that looking at, when you're putting that thing out?
I'm supposed to have it done by late April. That's when we agreed for the second half of the payment. So I'm going to try to do the bulk of it in March and just hopefully just render in April.
And that's actually a commission job, so congrats to Jimmy on getting paid for some music video work.
Thank y'all. I gotta make. He wants it more fucked up than the Butcher's Harem video, though. So I gotta
really
step my game up.
But I got some fucked up stuff in my pipeline. Don't worry.
So then, what about you, James? What are you working on? What's going on for the future here? What are you doing?
Still working on my super secret project. That should wrap up. At least my part of it should wrap up maybe sometime in April. Trying to animate some stuff on the side, but nothing I'm really committing to. Nothing I'm like going like, I need to finish that shit. Yeah. I got approached today by an indie game developer who wants me to help them kind of promote his game. So we'll see if I work on that.
James is getting that indie game market down.
I'm trying to get him to add more dicks to his games.
You're a good man, James. You're a good man.
Good man. Keep fighting for that dick.
So,
you need to slap that dick out of my face.
I'm just doing more walk cycles. I'm gonna hopefully get enough, like, get my balls together so I can listen to the takes from the voice actors. So I can maybe I'll have to go buy some beer, and then I'll listen to the takes and be like, oh God, please, and then I'll be like, oh, that was actually great, because the takes they've been giving me so far are great. I'm just a biatch. So that's what I'll be doing. But for now, I'm going to go mail out an autographed DVD that someone ordered across the internet. And since they did, I started making shitty paintings with my 4-year-old painting skills, and I'm sending them a painting too. So whoever that person might be in Australia will get that soon.
Oh, yes.
Unless my bike has a flat, and then maybe it might take a little longer. But yeah, good talking to y'all on the show, on the episode. James, Jimmy.
Yes.
Together you are the real name of Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy James, in his former group.
My
Jimmy
real
James
name is
Blueprint.
James, technically.
Really? So you're James and James.
That's right, we're the James team.
James team.
James.
James.
Team James.
Together we make James St. James.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And my real name's Michael. Do I fit in somehow?
Nope.
Oh.
Sorry, you're not the James squad.
Fuck you.
You could be the meat to our James sandwich.
Is that what?
Trying to fuck you again, M-Dot.
All right, y'all. Another great episode of the Forever Alone Filmmaking. Now you see why we're forever alone.
I'm for a bone.
So we're going to try to get some more guests lined up here. So we want to hear about actresses that James creeped out and what to do and not do. And yeah, I think that'll be good. So until next time, my friends, Forever Alone Filmmaking, goodbye.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Forever Alone Filmmaking podcast. If you have any questions or comments, please ask them wherever this shite is posted. Subscribe to the podcast in iTunes or tell a friend, if you have any. But if you don't, it ain't no thing, wanker. Make your movies anyway. It isn't easy, but somebody has to do it. Because Hollywood fucking sucks.